The House of Representatives has approved President Bola Tinubu's request for the release of 500 billion naira as palliatives to cushion the impact of fuel subsidy removal on the citizens. We have details in this report.
Barely 24 hours after making public the request from President Bola Tinubu for 500 billion naira palliatives, the House has given its approval. Members commend President Bola Tinubu for the initiative, but called for measures that will ensure the fund benefits the people. The House agrees to also constitute a committee that will monitor the disbursement of the 500 billion naira.
The government obviously has done its job, studied the situation, and come to the conclusion that there was a need to respond to Nigerians so that we can not solve all the problems in one full swoop, but provide some support to men, women, families, communities, and constituencies so that they can weather the difficult terrain that we find ourselves in today.
I think we should set up a committee, an ad hoc committee, to recommend the implementation of the palliatives and how these palliatives should be utilized by government.
We are all feeling the impact of subsidy removal all over the country. So we urge that immediately after approving this budget, that it should be used for the purpose intended.
The House says it has now restructured the 819.5 billion naira in the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act.
That bill, which was for about 819 billion, was not only for palliative. The palliative component of that particular bill was 500 billion. That is to cushion the impact of the oil subsidy.
A breakdown shows that 500 billion naira is for the palliatives, 185.2 billion naira for Ministry of Works and Housing to mitigate impact of floods, 19.2 billion naira for Federal Ministry of Agriculture to ameliorate the devastation of floods on farmlands, 35 billion naira to National Judicial Council, 10 billion naira for FCT for critical projects, and 70 billion naira for National Assembly infrastructure. Joke Hedsa, TVC News, Abuja.
Joining me on the news at 1 for more is a professor of accounting and development finance, Nile University of Nigeria, Ofile Ogudiora. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 1. I'm curious because as a professor of accounting and development finance, as to your reaction to the federal government move at this time, 500 billion naira.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I would like to say that this is a very topical issue in our history. First of all, I have to commend the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for adjusting the supplementary budget, because instead of going to borrow like the previous government, because anything that comes up is to go and borrow, he decided to adjust the supplementary budget to fit the requirement of the day. I thank him for that. This is a very good gesture. Then I also would like to thank the government for coming out with 185 billion for road and let's say works and housing, which is road and housing project. Then 69 billion for agriculture, and of course water resources, 100 billion. We could know that water resources and agriculture, they are related, they're interrelated, which means if you put this 169 billion on water and agriculture, it is going to have a lot of impact on agricultural productivity, because without dams and irrigation working, agriculture cannot work. They are supplement to each other. So then they are complementary to each other. Then the judiciary also having 35 billion is a very good thing. Then where we have problem is National Assembly that is taking around 70 billion. Why the ordinary Nigerian citizens, the majority of the population receive less than 40,000 naira a month. Because if you take the minimum wage and take those a little bit above minimum wage, you can average that the majority of Nigerians are taking around 40,000 naira a month. Then this money, 70 billion for National Assembly, that is receiving the highest remuneration in the world. Because if you compare it to the Western world, where the cost of living is very high, where the dollarized or where the dollar dominated, denominated show, even if you convert it to dollar or naira,
All right,
you see
Prof.
that it's higher than them.
Okay, I would like us to look at this from another angle. There is a plan to disburse about 8,000 naira to about 12 million families over a period of 6 months. And of course, that's also part of government strategy to cushion the impact that the removal of fuel subsidies having on families. What do you make of that modality of distributing the funds?
Yes, thank you very much. You know, all the time I say that distributing money is not a good palliative. I always say this, and I always advise Nigeria that it's not whatever World Bank advises you that you take, because the role of World Bank in a nation is advisory. You may take it or may not take it. So you have to use your money in the way it suits your country. The best way this palliative would have gone is, aside from agriculture and water resources and works, it could have gone to railway, it could have gone to power, it could have gone to security of lives and property, it could have gone to further boost agriculture further than what it is here. And of course, you know, Nigerians are not lazy people. Once they have the environment to do their businesses, the country will thrive, the economy will thrive, and the economy will be boosted. They don't need 8,000. What is 8,000 naira for 6 months to an individual? Okay, what happens after the 6 months? What will happen? The person starts suffering again. Or are you telling us that the subsidy lasts for only 6 months? It's not okay. I continue to say that sharing money is a waste. He may share correctly, not like the other government that will share to their relatives and their friends. But even if you share it correctly to 12 million Nigerians that you want to alleviate.
12 million families, actually, and they're looking at it
4 million,
spiraling
yeah,
to
4 million,
60 million individuals.
Yes, 12 million Nigerians. What is the effect? It cannot boost production. It cannot reduce insecurity. It cannot bring power. And these are the things that hold the economy. If you don't do something that hold the economy and give the economy productivity, then you are just wasting the money.
Thanks so much, Prof. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing with us from your wealth of knowledge. Ofili Ogodioga is a professor of accounting and development finance. Thank you.